right, everybody, welcome to week 5. This is module 5 of our power yoga sequence. Today, I'm going to be introducing you to an upper body sequence and a core strengthening sequence. So, it's going to involve stamina, balance, core strength, a lot of planking. I hope that it's enjoyable for you and some new tools that you can take with you. Uh, there are also going to be some stretching as we work through these upper body sequencing postures. So I'd like to invite you to come to child's pose. I am outside today. It's a little cool for yoga outdoors, but it's such a beautiful day that I wanted to just practice outside in the sunshine. So let's all come to child's pose and let's begin to focus on our breath, keeping our breath strong and free and deep. So, breathing in and out through your nose if that's available for you. Breathing deep into the belly, allowing the belly to expand, and then exhaling completely, pulling that belly button in towards the spine. Begin to find some kind of rhythm with your breath. I usually take a 4 to 5 count inhale and sometimes an 8 count exhale, but that's a very personal decision. So, find what works for you. And then finally, use the breath as a meditation, as a drishti for you as you're practicing today. So, just taking a few moments to ground yourself, to bring yourself into the present moment, noticing the sensations of child's pose, the stretching of the ankles, the stretching of the quadriceps, a slight inversion. I've got my head lifted because I have a cap on to keep the sun out of my eyes, but normally you can rest your forehead on the mat, you can stack your fists and rest your forehead on your fist, or even use a block. So let's begin by warming up the body, stretching your hands out as far as you can, planting them a stable distance, and then tucking under the toes, lifting the hips, pressing the heels down toward the mat for your first active pose, downward facing dog. So downward dog in itself is an upper body strengthener. You're stretching your entire body from the tips of your fingers all the way to your heels. So just taking a few moments to notice what you're feeling in downward facing dog, spreading your fingers nice and wide, distributing the weight equally among the 4 points at the base of each finger and at the base of the thumb. And when you're ready, come to all fours to forward, shoulders over the wrist. So pressing the hands and the arms into that mat, you can release the toes or tuck them. I like to tuck my toes to give my toes a little bit of some flexible practice there. And then I want you to, if it's comfortable for you, press your left hand into the mat, extend your left leg back, flexing your left foot, and extending your right arm forward, reaching through the right fingertips and pressing into the heel, really creating length between the fingertips and the heel. Remembering to breathe deep and free, allowing your head to relax, slightly tucking your chin to lengthen the back of the neck. So, really lengthen everything that you can, pressing that left hand into the mat and engaging that left arm. Very simple movement, but not easy. As you inhale, reach, maybe lift your arm, your hand, and your leg a little higher. And then exhale, right hand and left knee down. And then switch, extending your right leg back and your left arm forward, pressing that left hand, really engaging your right arm into the mat, flexing that right foot, lengthening through the left hands and the fingers, arching the back slightly, keeping the breath nice and free and the head relaxed. When you're ready, and if you'd like, lifting the hand, the arm, and the leg, and then planting it down, taking your feet back to plank pose. Now, while you're in plank, remember you can always drop to your knees. You're still going to build strength in your upper body as well as your core by placing your knees on the ground, pressing into the hands, creating space, and strengthening those arms, relaxing the head, tucking the chin slightly so that your neck is lengthened. And when you're ready, I'm going to start out by placing my knees on the mat because my shoulders need to wake up. It's a little strong for me to go down into a full plank or full chaturanga for the first one. And then exhale, lower down slowly, releasing the tops of the feet, placing the hands right under the shoulders and keeping the elbows nice and tight in. And then inhaling into whatever cobra you desire. So I'm going to straighten my arms, but you don't have to do that. Everybody's different. Taking a breath or two, a deep breath or two here. And then exhale, tucking the chin and coming down, touching the chin to the mat, I mean. Inhaling, press up. And exhaling, press down. Let's do 3 more. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. So we're working our triceps here. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. And on this last inhale, coming into cobra, and let's hold this cobra for about 5 breaths, gazing down at the mat or right in front of the mat, keeping your neck lengthened by tucking your chin slightly, keeping a slight bend in the elbows. Now you can lower your cobra, it doesn't have to be as high as mine. Just noticing the back and the arch of the back, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And on this exhale, drop down, touch your chin, and then press up into plank and make your way back to downward facing dog. Strengthening the arms, really pressing the hands into the mat, pressing the windows of the knees, the backs of the knees backwards, feeling that nice stretch in your tricep. And very slowly, 6 inches at a time, begin to walk your feet in, coming to your fingertips when you need to, and slowly working your way up to your hands into a halfway lengthening. So once you're here, you can place your hands on your shins. You can use a block. You can place your hands or fingertips on the mat. Inhale, lengthen the crown of your head as far forward as you can, pushing your tailbone back, creating as much space between the crown of your head and your sits bones or your tailbone, and bringing your arms out like an airplane. Lengthen everything that you can. And on an inhale, using your core strength and your back strength, inhale up, maybe arch back, and then exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, halfway lift, lengthening everything. And on an exhale, step back to plank pose. You can drop to your knees or skip this altogether. I'm going to shift forward slightly and exhale, lower myself down with pure strength. Use your knees if you need to. Release the feet and inhale into that cobra that we practiced. Exhale here. You can tuck your chin or touch your chin and press back to downward facing dog or skip that reverse chaturanga if you'd like. From here, look forward. On an inhale, step or hop to the top of the mat and lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, using a block if you need it, bending your knees as much as you need to. And with back strength, inhale, extended mountain, arching the back if you would like. And on an exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, lift halfway, lengthening the crown of the head forward, pushing the tailbone back. Exhale, step or hop back to plank and lower down with pure strength. All the way to the mat, release the tops of the feet. Inhaling cobra, or you can take upward facing dog if you'd like. And then exhaling, downward facing dog, or you can reverse your chaturanga with your knees on the mat or not, and exhale to downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths here in downward facing dog, building that strength in the upper body and the core here. And then on an inhale, hopping or stepping to the top of the mat, lifting halfway. Exhaling, forward fold. And with core strength, inhaling, extended mountain, arching back if you would so like. And then exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, lift halfway. Notice I'm moving pretty slowly here. I'm not rushing through my movements. Exhale, step to plank. And on an exhale, you're going to lower down with pure strength. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Or reverse your chaturanga and take it to downward facing dog. All right, so notice the sensations in your body, really pressing those hands into the mat. We're going to add on here. The first thing I'd like to invite you to do is take your right hand, place it on your outer left leg, right by your knee, and whatever degree you'd like, slide your hand on your leg. So we're in a three-legged dog. Our left hand is pressing strongly into the mat. You can skip this if you'd like. And we're gazing up under our left arm. So a little twist here. Not only are we creating strength in the upper left shoulder and arm, we're getting a nice twist here, as well as a nice stretch in the back of the legs. Or skipping it all together. You're still going to build strength with downward facing dog with both hands on the mat. From here, we're going to place that right hand back. We're going to shift forward, come to tabletop pose. And from here, we're going to extend our left leg back, press the toes into the mat, and press back slightly with the heel. We're going to shift our weight into our right hand, and you're going to see my back. We're going to press the left foot into the mat. Oops, excuse me. And you might fall, you might wobble. On an inhale, bring your left arm to the sky. While you're here, press that right hand into the mat. Really strengthen the right arm. Engage it completely. And maybe gaze up at your left hand. I'm not going to gaze up because the sun would be right in my eye, so I'm going to look straight ahead. Our left foot is squeezing into the mat. And from here, I'm going to extend my left arm over my left ear and just pull to eternity through my left middle finger. While I'm pressing my right hand and arm into the mat, strengthening it. And then from here, I'm going to bring my left arm back up, my left hand toward the sky, and I'm going to lift my left leg, flexing my left foot for an arm balance here. So really pressing this right hand into the mat, lifting my left leg and flexing my foot, reaching my left arm, my left fingers toward the sky, lengthening every bit of the body that I can. I can gaze down. I can gaze straight ahead. I can look up at my hand, whatever hand position I'd like. Now from here, I'm going to bend this left leg, and I'm going to reach back and grab my left ankle with my left hand and try to straighten my left leg. Now, you're not going to be able to straighten your left leg, but you're really going to open up that left shoulder. Continuing to make sure I'm breathing and not holding my breath. This right arm is really starting to fatigue, so really engage it. You can come out early if you like. And from here, extending this left leg back out, flexing the foot, extending my left arm up, taking one last inhale here, and planting my left hand on the mat, keeping my left leg lifted and extending my right arm out. Coming back into spinal balance. Continuing to breathe, pressing into that left hand to engage that left arm. And from here, bending my right leg, my left leg, grabbing it with my right hand, my right ankle with my hand, and then pressing my my left ankle into my right hand, making sure that left arm is nice and strong. Continuing to breathe deep and free. And then releasing, extending the arm and the leg back out. For one final inhale here, planting my right hand and my left knee down, and taking myself back to plank pose. Remembering to drop to the knees if I need to. Taking a nice deep inhale and exhaling, lowering down with strength. Releasing the feet and pressing into cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press into cobra. Exhale, lower down. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. And 1 more. Inhale, lower down. I'm sorry, that's exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Let's take about 5 breaths here in cobra. Relaxing the glutes. Making sure that your quadricep and your hips are on the mat. Lowering down if you need to. Everybody's cobra is different. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And on your next exhale, lower down and release the hands. Bring your arms out to airplane wings and your chin to the mat. Take a couple breaths here. And then on an inhale, lift your head, your torso, your arms, your legs, your feet. Tuck your chin and look down at your mat and just lengthen everything. Try not to go too deep. So this is called Shalabhasana, locust pose, and you're strengthening the muscles that support your spine here. Very important move. You'll probably start to feel your heart rate increase. Lifting your arms and legs as high as possible. And then exhaling, bringing your hands back under you. Cobra hands and inhaling to cobra. Maybe going a little deeper this time. And exhaling, lower down. Once again, extend your arms out beside you. And on an inhale, lift everything but your torso. Gazing down at the mat. This time bringing your arms forward, if possible. If that doesn't work for you, you can keep them on your side, or you can skip this pose altogether. Continue to breathe. Lengthening through your fingers, through your feet, lengthening everything you can. One last inhale here. Exhale back to cobra arms. Take a break with a breath or two, and then inhale to cobra. I'm a little sniffly out here. My allergies. After a few breaths in cobra, lower down. This time bringing your hands behind you if it's available to you. Interlace your fingers. Press the heels of your hands together or as close together as possible. Or you can just reach backwards. And then on an inhale, lift it all. Once again, Shalabhasana, locust pose. Strengthening those muscles that support the spine, your glutes. Every muscle in the back of your body is being strengthened here. Maybe raise yourself a little higher. One last inhale. And exhale, bringing the hands under the shoulders, back to cobra hands. Inhaling to cobra. Taking a few breaths in cobra. And then bringing yourself down once again to the mat. This time bringing your arms out beside you, palms down. One more locust pose here. And on an inhale, lifting into locust. Now from here, if you'd like to, if you can reach back and grab your ankles, come into wheel pose or bow pose. Continuing to breathe. Don't hold the breath. If this isn't comfortable for you, come out of it. Building those core muscles in the back, because your core does involve your back, not just your abdominal muscles or your obliques. It's all those muscles. Now, from here, instead of releasing the legs and letting them rest on the mat, see if you're able to come back to locust. It's not easy to do. Take one last inhale in locust pose, hands to cobra pose, and then press yourself up to whatever degree you desire into cobra. All right, from here, you can take it straight back to downward facing dog, or you can reverse your chaturanga and make your way to down dog. Taking a few breaths in downward facing dog. Pressing those arms and hands as strong as possible. And from here, taking your left hand, taking it to the outside of your right knee, and maybe taking it down as low as you would like, or as possible for you. And from here, twisting and gazing up under your right arm. I don't like it when my shirt starts falling. This is why in yoga we need tighter clothes. Not the best choice today. All right. So sorry about that. All right, pressing into that right hand, twisting as much as it's comfortable for you. Strengthening that right arm, trying not to collapse into the right arm. And then bringing the left hand back to downward facing dog. On an inhale, bringing yourself to tabletop. And this time, taking your right leg back. Yeah, right leg back. I had to think for a second. Pressing through that right heel. And then shifting onto your left hand, dropping that right foot as flat as possible, and extending the right arm up. I keep my toes tucked. You can flatten your foot if you'd like. I'm not going to gaze upward because the sun would be in my eye. I'm going to reach through that right fingers, or through the right fingers, press into the left hand. Almost like I'm on a tightrope here. And then extending and lifting that right leg high. Flexing the right foot. Pressing into that left hand, strengthening the left arm. Reaching through the right fingertips. Lifting the leg as high as it's comfortable. I'm not sure what kind of noise is in the background. Sounds like it might be church letting out down the street. All right, from here I'm going to bend the right leg, grab the right ankle with the right hand, and arch the back into a bow. So a nice back bend, making sure I'm keeping that left arm strong. I'm not collapsing into it. So a lot of upper body strengthening. We're also opening this right shoulder, getting a nice quad stretch in this right leg. Imagining you can straighten your leg as much as you can. So really pressing that ankle into the hand to stretch that shoulder. And then from here, releasing, coming back to this arm balance. You're probably starting to fatigue a little bit. And then bringing the right hand down, keeping the right leg lifted, extending the left arm out. Pressing into the right hand. And then from here, bending that right leg, reaching back and grabbing the ankle with the left hand now, and bowing here, pressing into that right hand, strengthening the right arm, opening the left shoulder now, keeping the breath free and deep, relaxing the head. And one last inhale, release, and come back to spinal balance, flexing that right foot, lifting the leg and arm a little bit more, and then planting them down, coming back to plank pose. All right, from here, if it's available to you, drop down to your forearms for a forearm plank. So getting into the shoulders a little more, relaxing the head, relaxing the neck. You can drop to your knees if you need to. Breathing free, just holding this forearm plank for several breaths. Now, while you're here, really press into the forearms to really engage the shoulders and your triceps and your biceps. You can join the hands together. Now, from here, drop down into Sphinx pose. When you're in Sphinx pose, don't just collapse, really engage your shoulders by pressing the forearms down and then pressing them back to create an isometric contraction there, relaxing the neck. So while you're taking a break from forearm plank, you're still engaging your shoulders. You're getting into your upper back, really pulling those shoulders away from the ears. Now, if you'd like, and it's available for you, you can straighten and lift your arms and do your Sphinx this way. It's just what you want and what you feel is appropriate, right? You can come out and spread the fingers and the arms wide and come into what's called seal pose. And with that, you can also bring your legs wide, and it gives you a little different sensation. It's a nice sensation. All right, taking it back down, bringing the legs together if you tried seal, coming back to your forearms into Sphinx pose, tucking the toes and lifting back into your forearm plank. Taking 5, 6, 7 breaths here, really pressing into those arms, engaging the shoulders, engaging your core. You can do this on your knees, of course, that's always an option. And when you're ready, dropping down and coming back to Sphinx pose in whatever fashion. Maybe try seal, spreading those legs and arms out. And one last time, tucking the toes, lifting your knees if you like, your legs, your torso, engaging those forearms, relaxing the head, remembering to breathe. Now from here, shift your weight into one forearm, come back to plank, and then make your way to down dog. Just taking several breaths in down dog, stretching out the backs of the legs, relaxing the head and neck. From here, coming on to all fours, crossing your feet behind you, and making your way to your back. All right, on your back, pull your knees into your chest and really squeeze, counteracting all of those back bends we just did. So that sequence was really heavy on back bends. All right, from here, bring your arms down beside you, palms down, extend your legs out, take a breath or two just to get your bearings. You can do single or double leg raises. So a single leg raise is like this, lifting one leg up and using your core strength exhale down and then doing the other. You can also do both legs by bending your knees and just touching your heels to the mat. So you can do double leg raises like this. Or you can do double leg raises by lifting both legs. So choose whatever option is best for you. We're going to do 10 of these. You can skip 10, you can do 5. When you're ready, inhale up. And then exhale, lower down slowly. So we're moving with the breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. This is 3. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. 5. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. 7. Exhale. Inhale, 8. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And the last one. Inhale, lift. Now for a little added oomph, if you like, on your exhale, hover your feet, lift your upper body for a low boat. And you will really feel this in your core. Maybe take 5 or 6 breaths here. Maybe not. Maybe skip this all together. It's not easy. And then exhale, release. Taking a few breaths. And then planting your feet about hip widths apart, bringing your heels in towards your bum, lifting up into a bridge pose. So pressing into the 4 corners of each feet. So to counteract that core work, you can also bring your hands under you, clasp your hands, opening the shoulders a little bit, and then exhale, release. Another core exercise that I really love is to bring the legs parallel to the ground or the mat. Somebody's dog is out. Press the hands into the quads, flex your feet, push your low back into the mat, engage that Uddiyana Bandha, and then press the hands into the legs and the legs into the hands. So really creating tension in the core, keeping that low back, pressing in while you're creating that isometric contraction. Press, 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 breathe, breathe, breathe. Flex the feet. And then release, plant your feet, and take it back to bridge. For a release. And the final core exercise today is boat pose. So you can do boat a few different ways. You're going to come up onto your sits bones. I found a little concave place in the ground, which is helpful. You can bring your feet flexed and your lower legs parallel and do a modified version of boat. You can extend the legs out and straighten them, which makes it a little more difficult. Find whatever works for you. So from here, squeeze your legs together if you can. We're going to inhale, extend out into low boat, and then exhale, come into boat. Inhale, low boat. Exhale, boat. Inhale, low boat. Exhale, boat. Inhale, extend. Exhale, in. Let's do one more. Inhale, extend. Hold it here. Lift a little higher if you can. Exhale, release. Come to Shavasana. Bend the knees and press up into bridge. Just a release. All right, so winding down into our final relaxation. Release the bridge. Pull both legs in, knees in. Squeeze your body. So we had a twist today with the downward dog twist, but let's take one more twist. Bring your right arm out. Place your left hand on the outside of your right leg and lower your right leg down for a nice spinal twist, making sure you're breathing deep and free. Trying to keep your right shoulder on the mat. And when you're ready, inhale, come up, squeeze the right knee in, extend the right leg out, squeeze the left leg in, extend the left arm out, and then drop that left leg down, turning the head to the left, keeping your left shoulder planted on the ground. Breathing deep and free. And then coming back, pulling that left knee in, extending both legs out, and taking your final relaxation. Feel free to stay in final relaxation as long as you like. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever works for you. This is a great sequence to build upper body strength. I hope you enjoyed it. You can let me know what your thoughts were in the Flipgrid this week. Have a great week.